Hey everybody, welcome back. I have this piece of really gnarly looking Texas chert. It's been heat treated in a turkey roaster. Some kind of cobble or something. Naps super well, it just looks really weird. So we're gonna try to make a point out of it. Probably some kind of like spear point, atlatal point, something like that. See what it'll do. It naps really easily, which is a good sign that I got the heat treat right. I did a big heat treat a few days back on some Florida stuff, and the Florida stuff that I put in there just did not work. So I did make a video on it, but I didn't post it. I didn't post it because it just didn't turn out really well. I had a couple pieces turn out okay. Maybe we'll do some of them on video. I kind of wanted to do this one, but I've kind of already almost finished it. It'd just be pressure flaking it. So this has a giant dip in the center. What's called a pot lid from where it blew out when it was in the heat, but it should be okay. Should be able to get that out of there as long as there's no internal stuff. It doesn't seem to be. Yeah, this piece of rock doesn't look like it's very high quality, but it's definitely not bad. No idea where it came from. I don't know if it's something I picked up or if it's something that came in some stuff I bought. I bought a bunch of bull gravel, which, if y'all aren't familiar, that's kind of the catch-all name for that. Texas river cobble stuff. And it can actually be really good stuff. It can be really pretty. Lots of colors. It can be really nice. But it's usually small pieces that are full of cracks and inclusions and garbage. Mostly. But they actually nap really well. You gotta be, they're cheap too. I think the last ones I bought, I paid like $2 a pound for them, which is pretty darn cheap. But if you live out there, you can buy it at landscaping stores. I think landscaping places call it Colorado River gravel or something. But it can be pretty nice stuff. So all we're doing right now is just trying to get this thin down. I gotta take some off of this other side to get this set up where I can flake across it. I have to really play our cards right on this side with that heat damage in it, or we'll be in bad shape if we don't. I can probably tell I'm losing some edges and stuff here, which I'm not crazy worried about. Like I said, I knew this piece of rock was going to be rough, but I really kind of like the way it looks. So we're going to do what we can with it. Probably end up being atlatal point sized. I cut myself pretty good right there. I trying to support that platform. I should probably keep some band-aids out here. I don't. I'm bad about that. Just roll with it usually. It'll stop here in a minute. Just trying to figure out what I want to do next. I need this back thinned out a lot more. Like doing end strikes. I think I've talked about that several times. Also don't like wearing gloves. There's some people that can nap with them on, but I can't. So what we're doing is, as we get it trimmed down, this concavity here where that pot loaded, we're trying to just flake all the way around it until we get everything at the same level. It's going to cost us a lot of width, but it's not really a big deal if you go into it knowing that's what's going to happen, which I kind of knew that was what was going to happen, so I'm not worried about it. We got most of it off right there. We're well on our way to having all of it off. We just need to get a couple more flakes in here, get this little island chunk off. We run a couple flakes in from this side off of these platforms, clean that up, and most of the concavity will be gone out of there. That was pretty much the rest of it right there. Cool. Now we just go ahead and push our platforms back to this other side and run some flakes across there, and we'll be looking pretty good. We'll be ready to probably pressure flake. I mean, really, besides, you know, the heat treating flaws, pretty good piece of rock. I really like the Texas stuff. I like the way it naps. It's tough, and tough in a good way. You can seriously abuse some of it. Overshot. Dang. Okay. That is pretty dang thin. I think we'll go ahead and I really should stop with the indirect. It's time. It's as thin as it's going to get without being in half. So pressure flake it on up and go from there. See what we got. Sorry about the cut, guys. I just not gonna really address it. Got to make sure I stay in frame while pressure flaking. I asked some people I knew that had watched my videos, friends and family and stuff. I said, hey, give me some constructive criticism. And I got 2 major pieces of constructive criticism that I actually listened to, and one that I haven't yet. That's evident in this video. But one piece of constructive criticism was get a mic, which I'm using it right now, so hopefully that'll improve the sound quality. I like my talking. Like, I don't talk very loud, so it's hard to pick up. But I've recorded a couple things trying the mic out, and it seemed to do well. And then the other one was to make sure I was staying in frame when I pressure flaked. So, and then the last and final thing that I was supposed to fix was bleeding all over the place on camera. Yeah, I haven't done that yet. As you can tell, actively, I am bleeding all over the place on camera. It happens. I'm probably not rambling very much today on video. I don't know. Just haven't thought of anything too constructive to talk about today. Not really a goal to this video. It's just I'm going to make this kind of video. All I'm doing right now is cleaning up edges and trying to pressure flake my center line straight. So what I'm doing is I'm just, whatever platforms I've got there, I'm abrading up so I can flake off of them. And then just running through and taking some off of both sides. Try to thin out that edge a little bit more. This tip is a touch thick, and I don't know, I should probably just leave it alone, but I have this bad habit of not being able to do that. Try to pressure flake some of that off of there. So you can still see the remnants. I should be able to still see the remnants of that pot lid where it blew out from the heat treat in there. But we got it pretty flat, so I'm just going to leave it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't hurt anything. It hurts the aesthetics, but I don't know. I don't really worry about that too much most of the time. I'm going to go ahead and side notch this thing. Notch is trying its very best to stall out on me, but I'm not going to let it. I really need to switch to something a little more robust besides this horseshoe nailer. It's not a bad tool. It's a good tool. It's just most of the time, I don't know if I'm either working tough pieces of rock or I'm not getting them as thin as everybody else is. I get my stuff fairly thin, I think. You know, I think they're reasonably thin. I don't measure them or nothing. I just look at it and go, oh, wow, that looks pretty thin. That's not bad. Need some refinement on the edges. And then I want to do some concavity on the base. I'd like to do that. I think I use these sometimes, like for whatever. I'm not hunting with them or nothing, but I haft them up, and having that concave base like that makes it just seems like it sits in the haft better. And somebody else might be able to explain this a little better than me, but when you have that, it also feels like when your shaft is sitting here, like look at that, it just sits like right in there, same thing. And then you tie here and you tie back diagonally, it feels like it's pulling that into the shaft. I just like it. All right, that's spear point. Not bad. His ears are a little weird. Let's clean them up. Just like they look like a touch blocky. They kind of look like Mickey Mouse ears hanging off the back of the point. I think I made it worse. All All right, we're gonna stop right there. I left that pot lid in it. I don't really mind. I'll hold it with the other hand where y'all don't have to look at that. See that? It's like a dish in the center of it. But overall, we got it pretty thin, pretty uniform. Be a nice little atlatal point.